What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Zebulon Law Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we are live once again, y'all. And on tonight, I will be giving y'all my Tennessee Titans top 10 big board, aka the 10 players that I think the Tennessee Titans should consider drafting on Thursday. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into this thing. So I will tell y'all this. I will go through this rather quickly because, as y'all know, here in about 30 to 35 minutes, the Timberwolves and Suns are going to be tipping off. So I will try to get through this pretty quickly. How's everyone doing? Hope you are doing well. So y'all, number one guy I think that the Titans should be targeting is Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. I mean, as y'all know, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player in this draft class, man. I mean, you're talking about a guy, y'all, that should be a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history. And man, I would really, really, really love if the Titans could draft him. But unfortunately, y'all, I don't think we'll be able to do that because I think the lowest Marvin Harrison Jr. will fall would be 5. Because like let's say the Cardinals end up trading their pick to the Chargers, or excuse me, to the to the Vikings, and the Vikings come up and take a quarterback, then I think the Chargers at pick 5 would probably take Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, at that point, they would have their pick between him, Malik Neighbors, or Rome Odunze, and I think they would probably take him. But yeah, y'all, I don't see us being able to get Marvin Harrison Jr., but I still put him on here because I mean he should be our number one target. Our second target, y'all, Joe Alt, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. And I think this is obvious. As y'all know, I mean, a lot of people have the Titans selecting Joe Alt in their mock drafts. And I mean, for good reason, right? Joe Alt is a really, really good prospect. I don't think he's a generational tackle like some people have been proclaiming him as, but he is a really good tackle. I think he's the most NFL ready left tackle in this draft class. And obviously, y'all know the Titans have a massive need at left tackle. I mean, last year, man, we were trying out Andre Dillard at left tackle, and that just did not go according to plan. We ended up cutting him. So, yes, we have a massive need at left tackle, and Joe Alt definitely could fill that need. Again, y'all, I'll say this. When you're drafting, I always say you should draft best player available over needs. So, even though Joe Alt, we really could use him because we don't have a left tackle, I don't think that should stop us from drafting a wide receiver, a position that we might not need as of right now, but a year from now we really could use a wide receiver, right? Because we don't know if we're going to re-sign D-Hop or not. So I'll say this, right? I like Joe, I really do, but y'all, you always take best player available over need. And if, say, come Thursday, we're on the clock and Rome Odunze is still there, hey, just say you got to think about taking Rome Odunze. Excuse me, or you have to think about taking him. All right. Third target, y'all. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU. I really like Malik Neighbors, y'all. When I did my scout report on him, I compared him to Antonio Brown and Jamar Chase. I mean, you're talking about a guy that, I mean, is so electric with the football in his hands. He can just make things happen, y'all. He has elite body control, and he's an elite route runner, can get open very, very quickly. And what is something that the Titans have been struggling with the last, maybe 3 or 4 years? Having wide receivers that can consistently get open, right? We just haven't had that. Well, we did have that. The one guy that we did have that could do that, we traded him away, right? So, y'all, I would love Malik Neighbors. Same thing with Marvin Harrison Jr. If he somehow failed us, I would love this because we would have a really great wide receiver trio with him, D-Hop, and Calvin Ridley. But look at towards the future, because you always have to do this. Look at towards the future. We would have him, Calvin Ridley, and then we could draft another receiver, in 2025 or 2026. So Malik Neighbors, is definitely somebody that I could see being available to us at pick 7. And we had some decisions to make, y'all. I mean, like I said, with Joe Alt, right? I mean, there's a chance that him, Malik Neighbors, and Roma Dunze is all sitting there at pick 7, and we're going to have to choose which one of those guys we want to take. And it's kind of split right now because half the fan base seems like they want Joe Alt. The other half is like, let's take a wide receiver, Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze. But Malik Neighbors, fantastic player. At 4, y'all, we have, speaking of wide receiver, we got Roma Dunze, wide receiver out of Washington. Man, speaking of D-Hop, this guy reminds me a lot of D-Hop, man, in terms of just being a physical, a strong wide receiver, great contested catch guy, and can get open too. I know Roma Dunze is not the quickest of guys, he definitely isn't slow. He has elite hands, y'all. I mean, he's not gonna drop any passes, which is huge for us because last year, we had some wide receivers, not gonna call them out by name, but we had some wide receivers on our team that did not have the best hands. Roma Dunze has really good hands, and so another guy, at wide receiver, y'all know Brian Callahan said that he tends to lean towards the guys they can score touchdowns, and Roma Dunze had 13 touchdowns this past season for the Washington Huskies. So Roma Dunze is a fantastic player. He's a guy that I think is going to be an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber player in the NFL. And he's somebody that should be on our radar, y'all. At 5, we have J.C. Latham, offensive tackle out of Alabama. And I will tell y'all this, that I don't think it's just a guarantee we're going to take Joe Alt. Now, I think there's a strong chance we do take a tackle, but I don't think it could be Joe Alt. I think it could be J.C. Latham. Because the Titans, y'all, it seems like they're really high on J.C. Latham. They even brought him in for a top 30 visit. So they seem to be really high on J.C. Latham. And talk about a guy, y'all, I compare him to kind of like a Trent Williams in terms of just being like, and not in terms of as a player, because obviously Trent Williams is a Hall of Famer, but in terms of just being like a role grader, being a big, physical, nasty dude. And the thing I like about J.C. Latham is I think his best football is ahead of him. I know he's still a little bit raw, but I'm telling y'all, he could end up being the best tackle in this entire draft class when it's all said and done. Like, seriously, I mean, J.C. Latham has the talent. He just needs to refine his skills. And say if we drafted him, y'all, I mean, he's going to be coached by the best offensive line coach in the NFL, Bill Callahan, right? Brian Callahan's father. And so I think J.C. Latham with us, he could become a top 5 tackle in the NFL. Love J.C. Latham. At 6, y'all, we have Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle, Penn State. Olu Fashanu, he's a guy that is crazy because I would say maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, y'all, he was seen as a top 10 pick. Now, I think Olu Fashanu could go anywhere from maybe 13, 14 to like 21, 22. I mean, which is, like I said, was really crazy for him. But Olu Fashanu is still talented. I think y'all, these GMs are kind of overthinking when it comes to Olu Fashanu. Okay, I know he didn't have the year, quote unquote, that a lot of people thought he was gonna have at Penn State, which is crazy because he literally was first team All Big Ten and he was still an All-American. But for whatever reason, some people feel like he disappointed. Y'all, Olu Fashanu, amazing player whose best football, kind of like with J.C. Latham, I think is ahead of him. I really do, man. He is super athletic. I think the biggest thing with Olu Fashanu, y'all, is going to be consistency. I think that's really going to be it. Consistency, right? Because he has the traits, he has the physicality, he has a work ethic to become a very great left tackle in this league. I think right now he's a really good football player. But I think in about 3-4 years, we could look back and say he was the second best left tackle in this draft class. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was J.C. Latham, Olu Fashanu, then Joe Alt. I'm just being honest with y'all. Olu Fashanu has all the talent in the world. He just needs to be more consistent. Can y'all imagine if we drafted him, though, and he's here with Bill Callahan? Y'all, I'm telling you, Olu Fashanu, he would be a bad man. So just be on the lookout for that. I know a lot of people don't have us taking him, but I definitely think he's somebody that should be on our radar because he has the talent. He just needs to be more consistent. I think at times Olu Fashanu, he kind of gets lazy, and which is crazy. And when I say lazy, I'm not talking like he has the work ethic, but I think he gets lazy on the football field because he gets bored. I don't know if it's because, Penn State didn't play against great competition. He was like, oh, like I could easily dominate this edge rusher because he's not good. But, man, if Olufashano could be more consistent, he is going to be a dog at left tackle. Next up, y'all, at 7, we have Dallas Turner, edge rusher out of Alabama. And I know some Titans fans are probably looking at me sideways right now because they're like, Zay, why in the world would the Titans even consider taking an edge rusher at pick 7? Well, y'all, here's why. When you look at our current edge rusher group, let's be honest, it's pretty mediocre right now. I mean, we have Harold Landry. Harold Landry is a good player, and he should be even better now that he's going to be 2 years removed from his ACL injury. But outside of that, y'all, let's be honest, it's pretty underwhelming. Listen, I like Artie. Artie is a great guy, right? Great locker room guy, brings a lot of energy to your team, brings a swagger to this defense. But y'all, he's just an okay player at best. And we saw that this year. When we signed Artie Key last year free agency, I know a lot of us thought the Artie Key was going to have like this really great season. Y'all, he didn't. Okay, Artie Key had like 4 or 5 games in a row. This man didn't even have a tackle. Forget a sack. He didn't even have a tackle. Y'all, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, right? Jadeveon Clowney, really good to great edge rushers in the NFL. They at least, even if they might go 2 or 3 games without a sack, they at least have games with tackles, y'all. They don't go 4 or 5 games without having a tackle. Okay, Artie Key went 4 or 5 games in a row without even having a tackle, which means what? He wasn't making an impact at all. So we really need an edge rusher. You talk about a guy in Dallas Turner, and for those that didn't watch, please go back or please go and watch my scout report that I did on him a few weeks ago, y'all. You talk about a guy that's very athletic, that's very bendy, right? He's not the biggest dude. He's only about 250-something pounds. But, y'all, he is just so fast and so athletic that I would love to see what Denard Wilson could do with having an edge rusher like that, because we don't have this kind of edge rusher right now on our roster. Okay, and I think that's something that more Titans fans need to seriously be looking at, like, hey, this is a problem for us. Because right now, our second best pass rusher is a guy that went 4 or 5 games in a row last year without even registering a tackle. So, y'all, I think Dallas Turner should absolutely be on our radar because we need an edge rusher. Seriously. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Come Thursday, if we take Dallas Turner, I'm not going to be mad at all. Now, I know a lot of Titans fans will be really upset by that because they feel like, hey, we need to take a tackle with our first pick or we need to take a wide receiver with our first pick, which I understand that. But, y'all, edge rusher is a massive need for us right now, seriously. At least with our offensive line and with our wide receiver groups, we have good players there. With edge rushers, we have one good player. We have one, like, kind of, in-between player, Artie Key, and then we have just a bunch of guys like Caleb Murphy, Rashad Weaver. Y'all, we need to improve our edge rusher group. All right, y'all, at 8, we have one of my favorite players in this entire draft class. Y'all have heard me say his name multiple times on this channel. Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Y'all think Brian Thomas Jr. is the 4th best wide receiver in this draft class, and that is not a knock on him. That just shows you how great and how stacked this wide receiver core is with Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Rome Dunze. But you talk about a guy in Brian Thomas Jr., y'all, that's about 6'3", 209 pounds, ran a 4.33 at the combine, and he is a big play threat waiting to happen. And Brian Callahan said, when I said this a few minutes ago, I'll repeat it, y'all. Brian Callahan said that he loves dudes that can score touchdowns. Well, guess what? Brian Thomas Jr. led FBS in touchdowns with 17. I mean, this is a guy, y'all, that had 6 games with 2 or more touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr., man, he is just so exciting as a player. Like, when I was watching him, and I watched him play at LSU, then I was going back and watching his tape. I mean, y'all, this is the dude. He's just such an exciting player. The Titans have not had a big play like this, big play threat like this, a wide receiver, since who? A.J. Brown. And I'm going to be honest, y'all, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is a little bit more explosive than A.J. was, right? Because A.J. ran about a 4.5. Brian Thomas Jr. ran a 4.33 at 6'3", 209 pounds. So, and I know I really haven't heard any, Titans fans really mention Brian Thomas Jr. because I guess they're not as high on him as I am. But I'm telling y'all, if we were to take Brian Thomas Jr. at 7, like say we take him ahead of Roma Dunze, hey, not gonna be any pushback from me. Because y'all, I think Brian Thomas Jr., man, he has a chance to be a really, really special wide receiver at the next level. My comparison for him when I did my scouting report on him was DK Metcalf. Right? He's not as strong as DK, but in terms of that big playability, that yards after the catch ability, woo, man, Brian Thomas Jr., I'm telling y'all, he is going to demoralize cornerbacks at the next level because there's not too many cornerbacks that, one, have his height, and secondly, have his speed. Next up, y'all, at 9, we have Tellis Fuaga, offensive tackle out of Oregon State. This is a guy that has really, really, really risen up the draft boards, y'all, the last couple of months. Really, I would say since maybe about mid-February to early March at the Combine, man, Fuaga's name has been mentioned as potentially a top 10 pick. He could go to the Jets at pick 10. But I think, y'all, you talk about a guy that is a good player. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, if we took him ahead of like Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu and J.C. Latham, now, yes, I would have a little bit of a problem with this because I think they're better players than Tellis Fuaga is. But, man, he's a big, physical, nasty dude, y'all. He's 6'6", 334 pounds. I mean, this is a large human being. I think he's pretty quick on his feet, though, for a big guy, pretty quick on his feet. And y'all, man, he's a road grader, man. That's really the best way I can compare him, or best way I can describe him is being a road grader. Just really a throwback kind of tackle, and he would fit with what Mike Vrabel did. But I don't know if Tellis Fuaga fits with what we're doing, y'all. That's the only problem. I don't know if he fits with what Brian Callahan is going to do, but I still put him on here because he is a tackle. We need to tackle then. Last but not least, y'all, and this is the guy that I think is a sleeper, but I really like, Byron Murphy II, defensive tackle out of Texas, y'all. He is the best defensive tackle in this draft class, and it's not even close. And I like Johnny Newton out of Illinois. Byron Murphy II, yeah, this dude is it, y'all. You're talking about a guy that's about 6 feet, 297 pounds, so not the biggest. Yeah, I know some people gonna say, "Oh, Zay, that's too small to be a defensive tackle," but y'all, it's okay because we already got big Jeff Simmons. It's okay if Byron Murphy is not the biggest guy, but you're talking about a dude, y'all, that is super athletic for a defensive tackle, very quick on his feet, and he has some pass rushing ability. Right, he had 5 sacks this past season for Texas. And you look at the Tennessee Titans, our defensive line is similar to our edge rusher group. Y'all, it's not good, okay? We got Big Jeff. That's great. Outside of Big Jeff, Sebastian Joseph, we signed him in free agency. The last couple of years, he hasn't been as great as he was with the Rams when he's playing next to Aaron Donald. But all of us, us Titans fans, are hoping that he gets back to that level now that he's playing with a guy in Big Jeff Simmons. We don't know for a fact. But, y'all, even if Sebastian Joseph has a good year for us, he's only on a 1-year deal. So defensive tackle is still a massive need for us. And I look at Byron Murphy II, y'all. He could fill that void. And can you imagine having him and Big Jeff on that D-line together? I mean, y'all, that is like lightning and thunder. You got one dude that's a little bit undersized at 297 pounds, right? Very athletic, though, quick on his feet. Then you got your big physical defensive tackle and Big Jeff Simmons. But both of them boys can get after the quarterback. That's why I love both of them dudes can get after the quarterback. So we would have 2 defensive tackles that could provide some pass rushing ability for us, which would be amazing, y'all, considering that our edge rusher group right now, is not the best. Let's just call it spade a spade. So with that being said, Byron Murphy II should absolutely be on the Titans' radar. And I know, again, somebody you're not going to hear. I really haven't heard his name at all being linked to the Titans. I've heard his name being linked to other teams, not the Titans. But I think we should hear his name being linked to the Titans because, y'all, We have a massive need on the defensive line. And I know, and I'm getting ready to get up out of here, but I know a lot of people just think we only have a need at offensive tackle and wide receiver. But y'all, we have a need at linebacker. We have a need at defensive lineman and edge rusher. Okay, now the only reason I ain't put linebacker on here because there's not really a linebacker that's going to be worth taking on Thursday. But y'all, there are definitely some edge. There's some other edge rushers I could have added on here, like Leai Latu and like Chop Robinson. But I think they're gonna go a little bit later in the draft. I think they would kind of be too early to take them. But I'm just telling y'all, do not be surprised if we were to take a guy like Byron Murphy II. Would that probably piss off most Titans fans? Yes, it would. But would it make a ton of sense? Absolutely. Same thing with Dallas Turner. It would probably piss off a lot of Titans fans. But it wouldn't piss me off because I realize that, yes, we do have other needs than just offensive tackle and wide receiver. Okay, y'all. Yes, we have a really good secondary. But the rest of our defense right now, it's kind of iffy. And like Rand Carthon said, man, we're trying to build a complete roster. That's what we're trying to do. And obviously, every team is going to have some holes. Like, you can't fill every single need that you have. But, y'all, this is a passing league. You have to get after these quarterbacks. So, right now, the Tennessee Titans, we really cannot do that because outside of Harold Landry and Big Jeff, we don't have guys that can really get after the quarterback. But, y'all, come Thursday, that could change. And y'all, finally, I really, really want the Titans to trade back into the first round. Because I think this is the perfect draft class to have 2 first-round picks. So the statement that I'm finna make is probably going to sound outrageous, but y'all, hey, I don't care because I think the Tennessee Titans should trade away their first-round pick next year in order to acquire another first-round pick this year. Because y'all, look at this draft class, man. I mean, you're talking about a pick 7. We could potentially get a franchise left tackle, wide receiver, or edge rusher, and then we could come back with our other, if we were to acquire another first-round pick and get whatever position we did get a pick 7. Can y'all imagine if we came out of this first round with Rome Odunze and let's say Leai Latu, or if we came out of here with Chop Robinson and J.C. Latham, or if we came out of here with Byron Murphy II, and then we were somehow able to get Olu Fashanu as well. I'm just saying, y'all. So, again, I think the Titans should trade their 2025 first-round pick in order to get another first-round pick in this draft. Because, let's be honest, y'all, we're expecting that we're going to be at least a pretty decent team this coming up season. I mean, just look at all the additions we made. We won 6 games last year with a roster that was probably a bottom 5 roster in the NFL. I would say right now, y'all, we probably have probably about a top anywhere from top 12 to top 15 roster in the NFL right now. So we should at least, I mean, on face value, y'all, we should at least be what? A 9-10 win team. So you're talking about next year, our draft pick would probably be what, in the late teens, early 20s? Man, trade that doggone pick and go get you another blue chip player in this draft class because this draft class is really loaded. Now, I would hope if we were to trade back into the first round, we wouldn't have to give up our second round pick this year. But y'all, next year, I don't care. Give up them picks next year. Seriously. Because I think if we were to add 2 blue chip rookies to this roster, woo, y'all, this team, man, this team will look really good. I think right now, we're good. I think we're a good team. We can end up being really good because this draft class, y'all, is really good. This is a really strong draft. I think this is one of the best draft class I've seen in a long time, seriously. Because you're talking about at quarterback, at wide receiver, at offensive tackle, at edge rusher, at cornerback. I mean, just filled with elite players after elite players after elite players. And my Tennessee Titans, this is exactly what we need, y'all. We've already done a great job. Rand Carthon, he traded for L'Jarius Sneed. right? He brought in Cheeto Awuzie. He brought in Lloyd Cushenberry. He brought in Calvin Ridley. He brought in Tony Pollard, excuse me. So he's already done a great job. I think y'all Thursday can really, really, really speed this rebuild up even more. Because we've already sped our rebuild process up a lot with what we did in free agency. But come Thursday, y'all, I think we can solidify ourselves as a playoff team. And Titans fans, what do we want to do? We want to go back to the playoffs. Even if we can't win a game, okay, and I know we haven't won a playoff game since 2020, but we need to go back to the playoffs because it's been 2 years since we've been there. And it's time to go back and hopefully make some noise. So there y'all have it. That is my Tennessee Titans top 10 big board. Y'all, I'm so excited that the NFL draft now is only 2 days away, man. Y'all ready for it? Yeah, man. Before I get up out of here, y'all, on tomorrow, and I think I said this in my live stream earlier, but on tomorrow, I will be giving y'all my final Tennessee Titans mock draft and also my final NFL mock draft. Y'all, I cannot believe this is going to be these are going to be the last mock drafts that I do this year. It's pretty crazy that we've come to this point. But yeah, y'all, the draft is almost here. So we'll be doing my Titans final Titans mock draft and my final NFL mock draft on tomorrow. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine. So make sure you get your day off, y'all. Seriously, life is too short. Make sure you laugh. Give God the praise, y'all. We are blessed. Every day we get on this earth, we are blessed. So live your life like it's golden, as Jill Scott said. Y'all know I'm an indie man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.